I am a doctor, not an executioner. Dr. Okafor Chidumeje, CEO OurDrKing Foundation Nigeria, convener, Traitorton,
I'm a junior practitioner now. I don't think it's really nice telling this our senior story. So most times when you tell them stories, they always twist it and find a way to accuse you of not doing this right or not doing this one right. I actually just finished telling my chief a story of what happened about 6 years ago. And all my chief could say was, because I titled that story, the title of that story was How This Man Escaped Justice. So after telling my chief that story, my chief now turned and said, you also escaped justice. You, Dr. King, you also escaped justice. In fact, assuming this you actually carried out that plan, you should have been in a very big soup now. So what's the story? About 6 years ago, I was in emergency, and some group of policemen came in with 4 bodies, four people. 3 of them were dead, 1 was alive. The living one was around 44 years old. Then the other one was an elderly man. The dead one was an elderly man, and an elderly middle-aged woman, and then a girl of 8 years old. So they were obviously bujoned to death, that's clubbed to death. Their skull was shattered. So during taking his, and then the guy they brought had this large cut at the hand, another cut here, and likely at the back. So if you look at the guy, that is the living guy, you see it's more like he was mobbed. That is mobbed halfway before he was rescued. So the policeman now came. So I started taking it to history. So the policemen were like that the guy that is a living guy actually took Miri, and he now went home and killed that man. That man is his father, and also finished off the lady. The lady is his mother, and then the girl is the girl staying with them, and that the guy has been taking this Miri for long. So that was the history. So I now said, so what now happened to him? Because I was thinking it was the policeman. The policeman said no, that they actually came in, and the neighbors were able to restrain him because he actually went berserk, wanting to attack the neighbors, and then the neighbors now restrained him and started hitting. So some of them brought out machete to also machete him. That's what gave him that injury. They now say the man, even before the Mkpurumi, has the history of violence. He's a very, very aggressive person. So it's not like it's the Mkpurumi. From what the neighbors were saying, they said even when he didn't take the Mkpurumi, he wasn't a better person. So they've told me the story. So now when it now came to time for me to do the work, I brought the patient. I looked. I said, okay, so I'm going to stitch these areas. And they said yes. So me, I went and got my sutures to start work. The policeman then said, doctor, won't you give him at least pain reliever and the injection to numb the site? I looked at the policeman. I said, give him pain reliever and then injection to numb the place I'll be stitching there. I said, that is the person I'm going to give this thing. Is he the man is this the person that killed these 3 people? The policeman said, of course now. Is that not the normal procedure? I said, procedure. Who cares about procedure? Somebody that clubbed his father, his mother, and they ate it. Who cares about the procedure? The policeman said, I am doing my own work as a policeman. You're a doctor. Do your own work. I said, this is my own work. I am going to stitch this thing, but I will be stitching this thing in such a way that this man will be feeling it. He has to feel this I'm doing. I cannot give him any pain reliever. The policeman said, no, this thing cannot happen. What is all this? The policeman that went and called the senior doctor. I was very much doing your there. I went and called the senior doctor. The senior doctor came and looked at me. He said, he's an elderly man actually. So he now looked at me and said, young man, do you now want to be the executioner? And if you want to become an executioner, we can actually find the job for you. And we can link you up to Nigerian prison authorities. They will make you the executioner. You don't that time you don't just need to be stitching them without assistance. You can also be hanging them. Since you want to become the executioner, I said no, sir. How can I now become a executioner? He said, hey, so if you don't want to become a executioner, do your work appropriately. Whatever that he did or does not do is not your business. Your business is to do your ethical work. I looked at this and now I wasn't happy. I said, with this kind of justice system Nigeria have, this might be the only opportunity to at least punish these guys more. But see what these people are doing. Okay, no problem. I went and did the appropriate way. And gave him the thing. And after doing it, the man was even telling me, thank you. Doctor, thank you. You're so gentle. I said, in my mind, I was like, hey, this guy is saying I'm gentle. Oh. This guy that just snuffed out 3 lives has the mouth to tell me I'm a gentle person. Kai! That was the worst word anybody has ever told me. I just looked at him and said, oh, okay, no problem. I'm gentle, Eba. Good. It's nice being gentle at times. I just did it and left. Do you know why I told my chief this story now? This thing happened around 6 years ago. So I guess he was taken to court because it happened in River State. Just like 4 hours ago, somebody called me and told me, do I remember that man? He said, he told me the court has released the man, or they said there was no evidence that weapon of the act was not found, and that they were not able to produce enough evidence or witness. So the man was discharged and acquitted. I told him because that this person calling me now was a nurse. I was working with them. I told the nurse, you see, that time people were saying I was too brutal. I was this. You see, that would have been the only opportunity for this guy to test a little of pain. And you people stopped me from doing that. When I said it, the nurse started laughing. So when I told my chief now, my chief left all this story. And now started blaming me. You see, Dr. King, the way I am looking at you, I told him, Chief, this thing happened 6 years ago. He said, even 6 years ago, you are still panting. The way I'm looking at you, are you sure you will actually be an executioner? I said, Chief, no, that was then. I was still young. Now that I'm old, how can I actually be like that? He told me, had it been you did this, we would have charged you for, is it ethical misconduct or whatever. And I told him,
Okafor Chidumeje,
I cannot be involved
Chief Executive of our Dr. King Foundation Nigeria, convener, Tritaton, the Lupus Day, not an executioner, the Lupus